Hello, I'm Adam Riley. After the success of our Christmas analytics workshop, we had a lot of people asking, so people who couldn't make it to the workshop, asking if we could record the solutions. So I'm here today to run you through the solutions. If you want to have a go at these problems yourself, check out our community website where you can download the starter workflow and give it a go yourself. So we've got three different problems we're going to be solving here today. So the first one is the cookie quest. So we're looking to bake the biggest batch of holiday cookies that we can. So our data set is this one here. So if we take a look at the raw data, so we've got a number of recipes, and then we've got the quantities that we need to make a batch of these recipes. So secret cookies needs 340 butter, 350 sugar, and then we've got a column over here on the right hand side that tells us how many cookies it makes in the batch. We've got a couple of limits to our process, so we can see those down here. So we've got 1,200 grams of butter and 1,000 grams of flour. So these are our limiting ingredients. And what we need to do is to work out how many full batches we can make by dividing the amount of butter available by the amount of butter needed per batch, and then we need to do the same for the flour. So we'll start off over here, so we'll add a new component. For this we need a set component, and the formula we need for this is going to be, so we'll type in 1,200 divided by the amount of butter in the recipe, and then because we can't make partial batches we need to take the floor of this number, so we round it down. And we'll call this the butter limit. So having done that, we then want to do the same for the, sorry, that should have been, yeah, that's right, the butter limit. And now we want to do the flour limit. Okay, so set, again, an expression, again, same expression, but this time, so floor of, we've got 1,000 grams of flour, so 1,000 divided by the flour. And we'll call that one the flour limit. So if we, again, take a look at the new data set now, we'll go back to full screen so we can see it clearly. We can see we had two new columns over here on the right-hand side. And we can see that the amount of batches we can make of each of these recipes is limited to these based on the quantities we have. So instructions say that all the other ingredients, we've got a limited amount of those. So now the only limit is the minimum of those two values. So to calculate that, we're going to do another set component. This time we, again, do an expression. It's going to be the min of the butter limit and the flour limit, and we'll call that one just limit. So that's the overall limit of how many batches we can make of each of these recipes. Okay, so now we've got the limits to the number of batches, then we can work out how many cookies that limit would make, so we can get the maximum number of cookies for our Christmas party. So to do that we need to multiply number of batches by the number of cookies. So yeah, another set, and again another expression, so it is the quantity is the value we need, and we multiply that by the limit, and that is cookie count, let's call it. Okay, so now we want to get the one that gives us the highest number of cookies. So to do that we're going to sort by the cookie count. So use a sort component by the cookie count field, direction descending, and then we can just do a limit here. So take the first one, and we can see that the recipe that will give us the most cookies with the limit we have is the world peace cookies. So that's the answer to stage one. Hopefully if you're following along at home you all got that. Okay, so step two, music magic. We're now going to create a cozy Christmas playlist for our Christmas party. So I've got the opening data set for this one up here on the workflow, already ready and using a data read and ready to go. If you're following at home, you'll need to add a data read using the input button up here, data read, and then browse using the choose file to the location of the CSV file that you downloaded from the community website. Okay, so for this one, we're trying to build a playlist of songs that fulfill sort of some of the criteria of our party guests, and we want the playlist to be less than 30 minutes. We don't want too much music. So we've got a number of rules that we want to apply. So the first thing we want to do is loudness. So we don't want any songs that are too loud. So we want every song has got a loudness rating of -8 or lower. So again, have a quick look at this data set. So probably this out. So it's got a track order, got the track name, we've got the artist name, we've got the key it's in, we've got the loudness, that's what we need for this first stage, beats per minute, and the duration of the track, which is going to be useful when we get to that 30-minute limit later. Okay, so to filter it down, we use a filter component, and we filter where the loudness is it less or equal to less? It says -8 or lower, so equal or less to number value -8. So that straight away filters down to 143 songs. So then James is happy with songs in any minor key, and Sylvia, she likes songs in an A major key. So the next filter criteria is to filter down on both of those. So again, we could do this as we did there we could add a new filter component and configure it. I'm going to do this one a slightly different way just to show you different ways of doing it. So to get the minor keys, we can go into this key mode and we can see all the values, distinct values in here. So we want minor, so if I uncheck it, then it filters it in this view. And then if I press the apply to graph button, it's going to add that component configured for me. So it's the same way as if I'd done it by hand, but just saves me a little bit of typing. I do the same for Sylvia's option. She wants the key to be A major, so if I select A major, we can see the results of that there. And again, if I click apply to the graph, I can get those two sets. So we've now got 9 that fulfill Sylvia's criteria. We've got 18 that fulfill James. We want to get these back together into a single list. So for that, I'm going to use the union tool. So union joins 2 tables of data together. I just connect that in to that side, and we can see we get back to a combined list of 27 tracks. So continuing with the instructions, the next thing we need to do is get the songs back into their original order. So you recall there was an order field, so we can sort on that order field. So sort by order. And now we need to filter the ordered list so the total play time from the start is less than or equal to 30 minutes. So we've got an individual time for each of the songs in this list. So if we take a look, that was across here on the right hand side. So we've got the duration in seconds, so that's the length of each of those songs. So what we need is the cumulative or the running duration as we go through the tracks in this playlist. And so to do that, we use a running tool. So running, and we want to do a running sum of the runtime. So duration in seconds. And then we got that, we then want to filter all of the songs up to the point where it goes over 30 minutes. So again, another filter tool. And we can filter by that column that we've created, running sum of duration in seconds. And that needs to be equal or less to the number of seconds in 30 minutes, which we can do by putting an expression in this side. So we can type 60 times 30 minutes. And if we expand that, we can see this is our playlist of songs for the party. I think there was one last step, which just wanted to sort them from the quietest to the most loudest, so we can build the leader effect as we head into the movie. So again, a sort component, and we're going to sort by, it was quietest to loudest. So again, this is the loudness field. And there we go, there's our final playlist all ready for the party, running up to the film. So the last step, again, I've read the data in over here for yourselves. If you've downloaded it, you want to add a data.read using the input, read in the CSV, and you can get started. So this data set, again, let's take a look at what we've got before we started. We've got a list of films. We've got the titles, the ratings, so we've got the age ratings, the IMDb, so this is a rating how good the film is. We've got release types, genres, run times, release years, and then we've got streaming service field. There's kind of a mash of which streaming services you're able to watch these films on. So again, we want to filter this list down so it matches the what our guests like. So release type must have been released in theatres originally, not directly to streaming or TV. So if we take a look again in here, we can see release type is the field we want here. And again, we can use this, so to theatres we want to do, we say untick TV, and we can apply that to graph, which gives us the filter automatically. Okay, stream availability. So this one's a little bit trickier because if you remember, that field really wasn't very clean. It was sort of a mash together of all different things. It's not Amazon, sort of appears in different ways on here. So for this, we're going to use a different way of filtering that we haven't seen so far. So we want to filter on the streaming services. And this time we're going to do a regex match filter. So if we expand this out, so what we're looking to do is in this streaming service field, we're looking for Netflix, Apple, or Hulu. Those are the three things that we've got subscriptions for. So the regex for that, so if I start with, let's do Netflix first, so Netflix, so basically it says match anything, then the word Netflix, then anything. And if I apply that, we can see it drops it down to the 3 films that are available on Netflix. But of course we've got more streaming services than that. We've also got, so if I say or, it is Apple, or it is Hulu, then this gives us down the list of all the films that we've got available that we can actually show at our party. Great. So Steve doesn't like animated films. I'm not sure why. I don't mind a great animated film, but we'll filter those out. We want to keep all of our guests happy and entertained. So again, different type of filter. So I think it's genre, and this time I'll say not equal to animation. Let's filter out those animated movies. And then I quite like a old film, so sort of a bit retro, 1980s to 1990s. So we're going to add that in, and on that one we want to filter on the release year. And this time we'll do a betweens filter. So this, so between 1980 and 1999. Great, so that's filtered down our list. So we've got sort of all these different films. So then, yeah, if we're interested, what is the best drama? Let's do an aggregate and have a look at a comparison of the what the best genre might be. So we'll group by genre. We will take an average of the IMDb rating, and we can take a look at it there. So again, I can sort that in here, so we can see drama actually gets the highest rating on IMDb. Yeah, sadly comedy the least, but we can, again, if we want to make that permanent, we can apply it to the graph and it adds a sort in for us, so we can see that, yeah, drama is the highest. But actually in the end we're going to ignore that and we're going to take a comedy movie. So from the movies that we got down to, we're going to find the comedy movie with the highest individual rating. So we're going to skip past the aggregate. We're going to start a new flow from this filter. We're going to filter it down to, again, we'll where the genre is equal to comedy. And we will sort by the IMDb rating. I sorted that the right way. No, that's the wrong way. There we go. Add that to the graph, and then we'll take the top one. So the film we're going to show at our party is A Christmas Story. A fine choice. So that is the solution to the Enzo Christmas workshop. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, feel free to post questions in our community. And yeah, wishing you all a happy festive season from us at Enzo.